get too much detail on it, and oftentimes the results aren't always in time for when I'm doing the rundown. But there has been some exciting stuff in the women's championship, and also we're seeing more women's under-19s sides take on. Warrington have made some serious steps into recruiting certainly some female juniors into some sort of setup there as well since they hosted the Women's Challenge Cup final. So I think that's a positive legacy of that occasion. It's great. But at the top of the,
it's only started this season, but they seem to be really doing well now.
Yeah, well, quite a few teams did, and that's kind of why you find that championship has a lot of the community sides playing against sides like Widnes and Wakefield and Hull FC, who aren't quite ready this year to go into the Super League. But that Super League, now Wigan have gone joint top with St Helens and have a game in hand. St Helens go to visit the Leeds Rhinos next weekend, so that's going to be not next weekend, in the next round of fixture, which is in a couple of weeks' time. So that's going to be an absolutely fantastic occasion, that one. So some really exciting fixtures coming up there. Obviously York still to get off the mark. They've probably not been ready for that division this year, so well done to them for helping make up the numbers, if nothing else. And that top three of Wigan, St Helens, Wigan and Leeds is going to be a real close battle to see who gets to be at Old Trafford. Not Old Trafford, at the whatever it's called, the one opposite the Etihad, on the same day as the grand final at Old Trafford. Okay, NRL round 23. Broncos 38, Rabbitohs 18. George with 125 metres, Sam with 100 metres, Tom played 2. Manly Seagulls 34, Gold Coast Titans 42. Storm 20, Eels 4, Panthers 12, Knights 20, West Tigers 10, Dragons 20. Gareth Widdop was out injured in this one, but James Graham did play, made 109 metres, so he's still plugging away there. Sharks 28, Cowboys 16, Bulldogs 27, Warriors 26, an exciting one there, but probably, the big game for the Warriors to be losing at this stage, I guess. Raiders 14, Roosters 12. Hodgson with 43 tackles. Elliot White he played in the centres. He doesn't quite perform quite as well for them when he plays in the centres, I don't feel. But what this was the Raiders' first win over a top 8 side this season, so that's a positive for them as they look towards next year now and having a quarter of the side being British. Storm, Roosters and Rabbitohs are the top 3, all on 32 points. Dragons sit 4th, but are joined on 30 points by the Panthers and the Sharks. Broncos and Warriors on 28 round out the top 8. The West Tigers in 9th have 24 points, so are 4 points back with only 2 games left. They need to beat both the Manly Sea Eagles and the South Sydney Rabbitohs and hope other results go their way. Okay, we do have some other matches to cover, don't we, Sarah?
We do.
From the London Championship Finals Day. So do you want to take us through the first one of those? We'll rotate on these, I think.
Yep, so the Brixton Bulls versus the South London Silverbacks in the London Championship final. Dr. Hideous says, Bulls always looked on top, especially in the first half when it was politely pointed out from the sidelines that no one could fucking hear the fucking Silverbacks fucking communicating the fucking fuckers. Silverbacks were better in the second half and it was close at 26-24 with a few minutes to go. But 2 late tries sealed the game. Bulls win 34-24. Man of the match, Marcus Nell, was very impressive for the Bulls.
I didn't even know that's what that review said. That's brilliant. Yeah. Tim G Radio said, a good game with Brixton proving too fit and skillful. The first half was all Bulls before the Silvers came out fired up. Both sides were using kickoffs as a weapon and forcing errors as a result. It's a shame one of the Silverback staff was effing and jeffing in the touchies ear all game in what was an otherwise fun game.
Then the London Chargers against the Hammersmith Hills Hoists in the London Premier Division final. Dr. Hideous says, despite a low-scoring first half with just 3 tries and an 8-4 score, the game was enthralling. It wasn't until the 60th minute when Hoists man mountain Jared Warren barged over for his first try and then his second 10 minutes later that the teams could really be separated. The man's a monster. Hoists finally win 8-20.
And then Tim G Radio said, a big game with both teams matching each other in defence as well as showing attacking flair. Chargers started well, but ultimately HHH were Triple H was too physical for their opponents, with prop Jared Warren proving the difference. So that's both of them pulling out Jared Warren for praise. For 2 tries on a wrap play. Chargers were in good attack, particularly captain Todd Pewitt playing loose forward. Possibly a few too many penalties to let the game flow, but all correct calls.
And then on the London final stay as a hurl, Tim G Radio says, a fun day down at Wasps RFC alongside Dr. Hideous and his mate who was watching his first games of RL. Was nice to talk to Mascord and Browns, some great players on show, although shame it hadn't been promoted or wasn't at more of a venue. Highlights included the ref telling one player, you don't play for Wigan, get your head in, and laughing at the ineptitude of the kicker. Low lights were the world's slowest barman.
On mentioning Mascord and Browns, Steve Mascord and Phil Brown, their Mascord Browns enterprise, you can buy great international rugby league gear from them. It's probably too late now to buy your Catalan for a day t-shirts in time for Wembley using the online affiliates link, but if you go to our Twitter feed or our Facebook page, and there's links on there where if you buy through those links, we get a little bit of money back into the SLP coffers to pay for our costs as well, so please do that. But yeah, great day had by all, it seems. So congratulations to the victorious sides in those ones. Okay, that is the world of rugby league well and truly covered. Or what we need to do next, though, is predict the big game in the Challenge Cup final. Preview and predictions time now in association with Love Rugby League. Head over to loverugbyleague.com for all the latest news, gossip, opinion pieces and even more stats on the greatest game. I'm sure there'll be plenty of daily content getting updated there in the build-up to the Challenge Cup final, which is what we are going to talk about, Sarah. It's Saturday, 3 p.m, BBC One. If you can't get down to the game, and like I said, I've got two tickets going spare to the first come first served, and I believe from what I've seen on Twitter just now, we might actually get to see, you might actually get to be sat in the same section as regular co-host Alan Cale if you take up those free tickets I've got on offer. So there you go. Anyway, on to the game. I've not really thought about how we're going to do this. Shall we we'll do our predictions first, and then we'll run through a load of fan predictions we've had, as well as the results of the poll that we unsheathed last night that has just ended whilst we've been recording this episode. So I'm going to let you go first, Sarah, and you tell me who's it going to be won by and how's it going to be won.
Well, I'm going for Warrington, and I've changed slightly from what I was thinking to I'm going for 24-16. I think I think Catalan will get the first try, but then I think Warrington will go in front shortly before half time and keep the lead.
Fair enough. Is there any players you think will be particularly crucial in driving towards that?
I think Darryl Clark and Stephen Ratchford.
Yeah, they're probably both going to be short odds for the Lance Todd, aren't they? Yeah,
I think Kevin Brown will actually have a good match as well.
Yeah, they've got some experience in those positions. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to back the form of the Catalan Dragons that they've shown in the semi-final against a much sterner opposition than Warrington faced in that encounter. I'm going to go Catalans by 7. I'm going to go 21-14. Obviously, Tony Gigo is going to kick the drop goal because he's kicked so many this year. I feel like the pack is relentless. Now, the Warrington pack is very, very good. Their starting front row is phenomenal, and if they can get 60 outstanding minutes out of them, then probably Warrington will win this game. But Catalan replace quality with quality at the moment in that front row. You know, basically, I'm not sure how they'll figure it out with Casti. Maybe he might start a loose forward, but that might mean they're starting with Simon, Moa, and Casti as their sort of big forward unit. That is imposing, that is difficult to break down, and also can tire you out themselves. And then they'll be bringing Julian Busquet on, who is a huge, physically huge, and also skill-wise huge game-breaking potential. I think he's got the opportunity to blow something open with his sort of offloads that he does, the power he brings in, and that sort of stuff. And plus they're going to have people like Jason Barrieri, who are just relentlessly working hard. Louis Anderson against one of his former sides. I think that there's even more motivation there for him. I just think that forward pack has laid such a good platform that Josh Drinkwater can't help but put in some decent kicks. He's got an exceptional kicking game. I'm gonna go with Catalan by 7, but I really think it could go either way. I think both of us going just over that 1-score margin, thinking they'll take a kick, either a drop goal or a penalty, to pad it out, aren't we, possibly? But
yeah,
it's going to be an interesting game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny because obviously for the last 2 years, as much as it was heart ruling head, I believe, and last year definitely, I really believed we were going to win. So I feel like I've been a bit out of the whole, like, oh, who's going to win? That sort of the build-up as a neutral. So I feel like I've missed that for a few years. And obviously the year before it was Rovers against Leeds, where
you weren't a neutral.
I wasn't really a neutral. But so it feels odd to be in this position of really not knowing and being on the fence and going one way and the other. Again.
Like, if we run through the sides, probably at fullback, Rashford slightly better maybe than Gigo. No, slightly more predictable, slightly more consistent than Gigo. Gigo's probably slightly more talented, arguably more of a game breaker. So I'll probably have those positions tied. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I think. I think you know what you're getting with both of them, but you know exactly what you're getting with Rashford. Whereas with Gigo, you're getting the unpredictable.
Yeah, that is a fair point. Then the wing positions. I mean, who do you think has the advantage in the wing positions of the two sides?
I mean, Charnley and Lynham have both done it, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've played in big matches.
Charnley's scored at Wembley before.
Yeah, Lynham's lost at Wembley.
To Charnley.
But he lost to us.
Oh, right. Did he not play in that final as well in 2013?
I think he was still playing. Was he?
Anyway, I agree. I mean, Fuad Yaha has too many mistakes in him probably to be consistent enough. Lewis Tierney is a battler, but is not quite as brilliant. But he could flash. He could jump out of dummy half at any point in an exit set and surprise some lazy markers potentially. So there's potential there, but they're just not as good, are they, as the wingers?
Yeah, I feel like both Catalan players have the potential of, they have those sparks of brilliance, but I think Charnley and Lynham are just much more consistent, much more
polished,
experienced.
Yeah. In the centres, I think it's quite even. I think David Mead has played better in the centre than I thought he was going to. He didn't look very good in the centres at first. And Brendan Williamy has been very, very good this year for Catalan Dragons. Even when they were shit, he was good. So that kind of tells you how good he's been. Up against Bryson Goodwin, who's probably going to be that third or fourth centre who doesn't quite make the dream team, if we're being completely honest. And Toby King.
I really like Goodwin. Yeah,
and Toby King, who I really like, but I put Toby King in a similar box to where I would be putting Fuad Yaha, in that there's still the odd big mistake. They could bring Ryan Atkins back in if he makes fitness, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be those two. I think it's a draw on the centres. I think probably a tie.
Yeah.
Into the half then. It'll be Samisoni Lange and Josh Drinkwater up against Kevin Brown and Tyrone Roberts. We can assume that Roberts will bounce back from his concussion protocol that he went through last week. If not, it'll be Dec Patton alongside Kevin Brown. But who do you think has the edge there?
I think that this is really tight as well because, I think Drinkwater has been amazing for Catalans this season, well, since he went there. But then Brown sometimes pulls it out for the big games. Roberts is a good player. Yeah,
I know what you mean. I mean, Lange's just bypass him in the conversation. He might do some